Are you getting enough protein? If you're anything like me, you're probably not. So, the World Health Organization recommends as a basic guideline that adults get between 50 to 60 grams of protein per day. So, that works out to approximately 50 grams for a 143-pound woman and 60 grams for a 165-pound man. So, this also varies depending on your age, your size, and your activity level. So for older adults over the age of 50, we require 50% more protein than younger adults just to maintain our existing muscle mass and our strength. So as we age, there's a condition called sarcopenia, which is generally muscle loss. And we see this in older adults. I mean, we see it all the time. And it ends up to, things like falls where you're breaking hips and you're frail and you just don't have the strength as you used to have. They're also seeing it now in the younger generations, and that's just due to poor diet and lack of exercise. So sarcopenia, or muscle loss, starts in your third and fourth decade of life and equates to about 4 to 6 pounds of muscle loss per decade. So that's quite a bit. So I'm 55 and I've noticed an alarming rate of muscle loss over the last couple of years. And I have to say that when I reflect back on my whole adult life, I really didn't focus much on protein in my diet. I mean, I had it, and it was something I always had at supper time, but I really didn't focus on having protein at each meal. So I actually had a very active lifestyle. I was a competitive runner for several years, and I was also a military medic. So I had a very active career. And I think back that how protein probably could have helped my performance a lot better than what it did. And maybe I have quite a few different injuries from my active life in the military. And I think that maybe they might not have been so severe if my muscle strength was stronger. So now I'm still very active. I do a lot here on the homestead. We, very active outside. And as I'm getting older, I know that my body's going to continue to break down muscle mass. So it has sent me on this journey to try and see how I can increase my muscle and my strength through diet and exercise. So I want to share with you 5 quick and easy, clean and wholesome protein-filled snacks without protein powder that you can make at home. So let's go into the kitchen and I'll share with you these 5 recipes.
Hi, if you're new here, my name is Noreen. My husband and I moved to a 100-acre property in the Canadian wilderness where we try to live a healthy and self-sufficient lifestyle and share about it in my videos. So if that sounds good to you, please consider subscribing. So the first snack I'm going to make is peanut butter cookies with hemp seeds. So for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know I love my sweet treats, and I really love it with a mug of tea. So I have the ingredients here. I will leave a link in description for all the recipes I am talking about. So I have actually not using the full cup of sugar. I'm using a half cup and replacing the other half with a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips and a 1/4 cup of the hemp seeds. So I've been using these hemp seeds in my food for years now. I add them to oatmeal, salads, and smoothies. And a 1/4 cup serving of hemp seeds adds 13 grams of protein. So in combination with 1 cup of peanut butter, which has 60 milligrams, you're getting a total of 73 grams of protein in this recipe. So as you can see here, the dough has firmed up. It's nice and thick. So we're just going to go ahead and roll these into 1-inch balls and place them on a cookie sheet, an ungreased cookie sheet. I've used a piece of parchment paper here for easier cleanup. So the day I started filming this video, it was quite cool out, which has been our spring pretty much this whole season. And we had a high of 15 degrees Celsius, which is about 59 degrees Fahrenheit, and tons of rain. And boy, let me tell you, that is about to change because we are going to get hit with a heat wave the next day. So just crazy weather happening here. So I'm just going to bake these until they're golden brown, and then I'm just going to do a quick quality assurance test here, and of course they're delicious. Okay, so the next snack is made with cottage cheese, and let me tell you, I cannot stand cottage cheese. I think it's the texture with the chunk in it. But when you blend it up to a nice thick, creamy loveliness and add wonderful ingredients like cocoa powder and maple syrup, let me tell you, you've got a really irresistible snack going on here. So I was looking for a yogurt replacement because I can't eat yogurt because it has higher amounts of whey in it, and I just can't digest whey protein. So cottage cheese has a lot less whey, and it also has more protein than Greek yogurt. It comes in at 13 grams of protein for a half cup serving, and it also has high amounts of vitamin K2, which I'm going to talk about later on in the video. So I've whipped up the cottage cheese until it's thick and creamy with no chunks, and I've added my quarter cup of cocoa and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So now you can adjust this according to your own taste. If you want it less chocolate and more sweet, I mean, you can just kind of play with it and see what works for you. And it's also really a blank canvas because you can add anything. The possibilities are endless. I was thinking switch out the cocoa and the syrup and add in vanilla extract and homemade preserves, and you'd have like a fruit pudding. Add some banana to that and blend it in. The possibilities are endless. And at 13 grams per half cup serving, this really fills you up. These little mason jars are perfect for this pudding, so I'm just going to pour them in here and place them in the fridge, and then they're ready to go. So I failed to mention earlier that you can use any type of cottage cheese. You can use 2%, whatever, full fat. Full fat's recommended because you get a thicker consistency. I actually use 2% here. And if you're really ambitious, you can make your own cottage cheese, which is quite easy to do. So if that's something that you would be interested in me demoing later in another video, just leave a comment below. The next high protein snack that I want to share with you is roasted chickpeas. So I'll tell you guys, the only time I really eat chickpeas is on my salad every once in a while. It's not something I really reach for. So I thought I'd give this a try. And you can use either cooked or canned chickpeas for this recipe. So after rinsing your chickpeas really well, you want to place them on a towel and pick off any of the loose skins. So you really want to get these chickpeas as dry as possible so that they can crisp up in the oven. Once your chickpeas are as dry as you can possibly get them, I ended up putting them on a cookie sheet lined with foil for easy cleanup. And to that, I'm adding EBOO and just getting in there with my hands and making sure that the majority of the chickpeas are coated with the oil. And I'm just sprinkling some salt now, and then we'll pop them in the oven. And I'm going to bake these at 425 for about 30 minutes until they're nice and golden brown and crunchy. So here they are, hot out of the oven, and I'm just adding a healthy sprinkling of smoky paprika. I didn't know how this recipe was going to turn out, but I was pleasantly surprised. They are crunchy and nutty and salty, and they have 20 grams of protein in a half cup serving, which is just amazing, and a healthy dose of fiber coming in at 5 grams per half cup as well. So very healthy snack here. So I have another cottage cheese snack here, and this one is super, super easy. It is a whipped cottage cheese dip. And essentially, you're just going to put your cottage cheese into a blender, whip it up until it's nice and thick and creamy, and pour it into a bowl and just add whatever seasonings or flavors to it like you would any other type of dip. Besides being high in protein, cottage cheese is also a good source of vitamin K. So when we're talking about vitamin K, we're talking about vitamin K1 and K2. And K1 can be found in leafy greens, vegetables, and some plant oils, and it's responsible for a healthy blood clotting in the body. Vitamin K2 is also responsible for blood clotting, but it also helps break down calcium in our bodies and helps remove hard deposits of calcium and fatty material from forming in our artery walls, which allows smooth and flexible blood vessels and reducing the risk of blood clots and heart disease. And studies have shown the risk of dying from heart disease falls by 9% for every 10 micrograms consumed a day. So we can say that cottage cheese is essentially a superfood. So, my last snack I want to share with you is the boiled egg. So, I eat eggs every day, and they are just a wealth of vitamins and minerals, and they contain all nine essential amino acids. One large egg contains 6 grams of protein. So, I'm going to be making deviled eggs, and instead of making it with mayonnaise, I am using some cottage cheese, and I saved about a quarter cup from my whipped cottage cheese dip that I had just made earlier. And to that, I'm just going to add some of my favorite deviled egg seasonings and just fill them up like you would a normal deviled egg. Um, I do make my own mayonnaise for deviled eggs, and if that's something you would be interested in seeing, let me know in the description below. If you have any high protein snacks that you make and would like to share, I'd love to hear from you. So you can just leave a comment below. That would be great. These deviled eggs with the cottage cheese filling were really good. So you would have no idea that it was cottage cheese instead of mayonnaise, and then you have the benefit of added protein. I hope these recipes gave you some more ways of adding protein into your day.